Hello and welcome back to another Space Engineers Showcase video. In today's video I'm taking a look at one of your designs that you've linked me in the comment section of one of my videos. And for today we are looking at the ESC Antares-III Frigate. I don't believe I've done this before, I haven't checked, but I'm just going to wing it at this point. Also, it's best not to question what happened to this station, because yes, you'll find out a little bit later on. The Antares-III Frigate, hopefully I'm saying that correctly, is a large block ship that is suitable for survival mode. It can go through both space and atmospheres thanks to its hydrogen thrusters and its ion thrusters. It has a good array of guns, not too overboard, but it does have a nice lot just to keep you safe from meteors or from the odd drone that comes and attack you. You even have a rocket launcher turret that is manual control, so it's pretty fair overall when it comes to combat. So let's start by going around the outside, and then we'll go for a little run around the inside, and we'll have a bit of fun after that against the other rival platform. So at the front here, we've got our main seat that we can just about see in there, and on the outside, just above it, a camera, which I absolutely bloody love when people do this, because it allows you to see properly without having to peer through a window and it being a bit wonky because your actual cockpit is in the way, blocking most of your view. Coming around the side, we've got some nice use of the corner sloped armor blocks. In fact, let me go around the other side because I believe the sun is on this side. Yep. So yes, we can just see in there the cockpit of how we're going to control the seat. On the side, we have got interior turrets. We've got a few interior turrets on there, which are good if something gets very close to you, and we've got some regular Gatling turrets there for some good long-range encounters. Going around the side, we've got a little LCD screen with the name of the ship. That is the name. I call it the Antares-III. That one's just been cut off a little bit, but who cares? I should also mention that this does use the DLC blocks, so if you don't have the DLC pack, then you're not going to have these blocks spawn in, but it's not too much of an issue. If you don't have it, it's not going to cause the ship to break apart. Moving across, we've got some ion thrusters in this little raised knobbly bit with a good old grey colouring against this white rusted look. The rusted look does look good on big ships if they're going to be going through space for a very long time. Gives it that nice used look. Behind this little ridge here, which is going to be a thruster and where a Gatling gun is on top, is the doorway in. Now, I love this as well, because it's a protected entrance. You don't see that very often on ships, because if you go through this door and come out, you're pretty protected from just oncoming fire. Yes, you could be attacked there, and this block could easily be destroyed, but you could just hug this and plan your escape, or if you're a coward, run back inside. Let's just come back round here and continue along on the outside. We can see our first set of hydrogen thrusters there, so one above and one below, so we can go through atmospheres all good and proper. Across here we've got a odd little blue block. Yes, there's a few blue blocks all over this ship, which does help break up the big white colouring, and the greyish colour also helps a lot with that. We've got some atmospheric thrusters. Yes, it does contain a few atmospheric thrusters just to aid those hydrogen thrusters when you're going through an atmosphere. On the side, we've got a light that will blink. And we've got some more turrets. We've got a Gatling turret underneath. We've got an interior turret on the side. And up above there, we can see the rocket turret, which we can manually control. Moving across, more ion thrusters. A little name there of the ESC. I believe that is the creator's name. And some windows where we can view inside at nothing, but it is just extra decoration that makes it look great. Below that, we can see some large atmospheric thrusters. Yes, this is going to help us lift off from a Earth-like planet and such, and make sure we don't come crashing back down if we get too close to a planet. We've got some landing gear there, which has been nicely placed, where nothing else is going to get damaged if you land on the surface. So here is the leveling point. There we go. It's always a good idea. That turret at the front might be a bit of a problem, but if you lose that, it's not the end of the world. Moving around to the side, we've got some hydrogen thrusters here for the forwards and backwards with a connector on the side. Now this connector here can be used to refuel the ship, connect a smaller ship up if they're in trouble, and do whatever with. It's always useful to have a few connectors on the side there. You never know when you might need it. As we move across on this little rear wing type of thing, we have some solar panels, just two, to give us that little bit of extra renewable power in case we run into an issue on our adventures where our reactors just lose all their uranium and we need to rely on them to get along. We've got some interior turrets at the very back there for some rear defense, and we can see some more thrusters, one large hydrogen thruster, a couple of ion thrusters, and 4 atmospherics to push you along. This thruster housing part is very well done with the sloped armor blocks. We've got some windows in there, the half armor blocks, and a good blue stripe in there to break it all up, which is great. And at the very back there, we got some ion thrusters and some blinking lights. Going up and above, we got our antenna, just so we know where our ship is at all times. We got our refinery with some modules on the side. Bit of an odd place to fit a refinery, but then again, the refinery is a bloody big block, so putting it on the outside does add a bit of decoration, even though it could be easily shot out by a pirate. But it is one way of solving it if you're low on space. Coming across the top, we can see the atmospheric thrusters there in a good old Pella glory, just spinning around there like you just fall into there and get chewed up into mush. Then moving across, we've got some ion thrusters, we've got some hydrogen thrusters, we have a small assembler right here behind the rocket turret that we can manually control. We even have a small welder right next to the rocket turret so we can keep it repaired at all times, because this is a turret that we can manually control and what we can use to basically snipe an opponent if our automatic turrets are unable to hit them. Moving in front of that, we've got our ion thruster and some windows which allow us to peer down at some gyroscopes. On this window, we can see our beacon, just so we can have a nice little glow from that. And moving across towards the front, some more hydrogen thrusters, some more ion thrusters, and some Gatling turrets. And then coming down and underneath, what do we have? So we've got that little interior turret with a blinking light right behind it. That is the only problematic block I can see on this ship, because if you land front heavy, you're going to destroy it. But it doesn't really matter, like I said. There are landing gear, we've got some more thrusters on there, we've got some lights, and our jump drive. The jump drive is a little bit exposed, so if you're using a certain mod, which I might have installed currently, it could cause a catastrophic explosion. Moving on from there, we just go to the back, we've got some more blinking light, and some more thrusters, and one last spotlight. And that is basically it. It's a really well made ship considering it's using vanilla blocks. The way it's been set up with the multiple colours, the catwalks, the placement of the thrusters, it does break up a lot of the boringness the vanilla space engine blocks do have. Or at least I think of anyway. But now it's time to take control of my character and go inside. So we have to go inside this little side door, which I do like this position. With the interior pillar there, it doesn't matter if that gets destroyed, we just remove that. It's just purely there for decoration. That's not going to float away anytime soon. Or is it? No, it's not. I was joking. Or was I? Oh well, let's go inside here. So on the inside, we've got a door. A door that automatically closes behind us. So we have the whips, auto airlock, and other thingy door. I think I just butchered that name, but you know what I'm talking about. So this is the interior, our first room we encounter. We have a conveyor that goes across from our reactor bay into the main body of the ship. We have this small room here which is sort of like a holding cell. We have a emergency cryopod there, so if you're doing work on the outside of the ship, you can just come in here and recharge. An air vent to make sure you don't suffocate. And we have this door right here. Yes, we have to come across to this button panel and press number 1, which will turn on this door and allow us to open it up. The reason why this door is locked is because this is where our reactors are being housed, so a sneaky pirate can get on here and start welding away this, and you're going to be in a lot of trouble very quickly. And coming across to here, we got a beacon with a welder right here, just to keep everything all nice and welded up if you take damage while in combat, which I will test a bit later on. So closing up that door, coming across to here, we've got a few other options, but they're additional buttons of cycle the airlock and turn doors on and off and all that. Let's open up this door and come to the second room. Here are our DLC blocks. We've got our bed up there, we've got our armory, we've got our lockers, we've got a survival kit, we've got a air vent, and we've got a ladder to climb up. What is in here, you asking? Wow, they actually put stuff in here. Look at that. So we've got some tools to keep you going, and in the locker, a nice lot of elite rifles, and a nice lot of ammunition to keep you going. In that one, yep. It's kind of a shame you can't take off your suit and put it in there. That'd be a really great thing to do. Yes, what was I going to do? Alright, climb up the ladder It's a short ladder, so it doesn't take too long to do if you want to save your jetpack. Let me just hop up here. Having the catwalk here is a bit of an issue, but that is the only way you could actually get a block on there without taking up too much room. If you're going up here, the characters just sort of get stuck on there a little bit, but if you force it forwards, he will go off. The window here I do like. It's got a half block in front of it, just so you have half a window, which does look good like that. Just peer over the side. We have our DLC kitchen to get some grub, put a microwave on and all that, wash your hands, and our bed. So it's quite easy, dinner and straight to bed. Dropping down and continue on, we have an automatic door. We're instantly greeted by an interior turret, so if you're not allowed to be on this ship... Hold on a minute, I just got pushed out by the door. Please open up, thank you. So if you're an imposter on this ship, it will just blast you before you try and take control of it. But we do have even more DLC blocks here. We've got our planters on both sides, that little extra bit of decoration. We've got a sofa there, our projector table thingamabob, and yes, 2 sound blocks in there because we do have our alarm system, and there's the bloody sensor, which is opening up that door. So moving across, we can walk all the way around the side, and we can see the interior turrets sitting on the side of the ship. A programmable block there which we can access, which there we are, the auto door and airlock system. And on the opposite side, nope, I didn't want that, I want the programmable block. We have got the radar system to detect enemies. A little button panel for the lights. There we go, it's just standard stuff there, if I can turn it back on. And some more chairs for you to sit on. There is the time. And yes, we've got some lights around there, we've got some more LCD screens up there, so there's the enemy screen and you've got a co-pilot who can also point it out for you. And another one. These 2 chairs right here, so these are your co-pilot seats, they have nothing on their bar, but you could, if you really wanted to, take manual control over the turret by coming into here, finding one of the blocks, let's say like that, and then just taking control of it. So there you are, you can then just shoot everything from one of these seats. Coming up to here, this is the main cockpit. So there's an all the way round of the seat. I don't know why I just did that. I'm sure you've all seen a flight seat before. But we can look up. There's our radar system. So there's no hostile enemies, there's no neutral enemies, and there's no allied enemies around here. And we've got some options. Number 1 on our hotbar is to turn off all the turrets on your ship. Yes, if you want to go neutral, and or you're being hailed by someone and you need to turn off all your weapons before they approach, then that's one way of doing it. Number 2 is to turn off the interior turrets. Number 3, take manual control over the rocket launcher. So there we go. Number 4 is the camera at the very front, so we can turn around. Ooh, and there we are. Number 5 is to turn on the welders to put you in the automatic repairing mode. But let's just turn it off for the moment. Number 6 is for the atmospheric thrusters, which we can turn off because they're not needed. 7 and 8 are of course for more thrusters, but we're going to leave that on because we will need them because we're in space. Number 9 is the jump drive. Press to jump. Fair distance. On tab number 2, we've got locks for the doors, so if you want to make sure that nobody can get in or out, you can do that from here. Number 5 is a projector. What is it projecting, you're asking? I'm not too sure. In fact, I will just double check that. Where is the projector? There it is. What are you trying to project? I could just, let's just lift that up. Oh, there we go. And there it is. So it was projecting the entire ship, and you can press 6 to automatically start repairing yourself if you take damage. But I'm just going to leave that there as a confusion mechanic. Number 8 is our beacon, which we can turn on and off, and number 9 is the antenna, which we can turn on and off. On tab number 3, we have our lights. 2 and 3 are for the emergency lights, where we start to glow red in here. In fact, let me just turn them off. Yes, that's more threatening, isn't it? And then we have these buttons, where 6 and 8 are for sounds. So this is approaching the enemy. Turn that off. And now you're under attack, and you're maybe dying? Yes, we have that. Tab number 4, we have nothing, so it is time to go around. In fact, before I go any further, let me just press F10 and find... Have I done this already? I might have done this already. Anyway, this is the Antares-III Frigate. It's 2,034 large blocks, so it's a little bit bigger than the helicopter I showcased the other day. Although that was small blocks, you get the idea. And now it's time to do the good old thruster test, and we can go and blow this up, or maybe it'll survive. You never know. So moving forwards, got a good amount of thruster. It's not completely insane. Oh, there we go. There's a lot of debris around here. It's not completely insane going forwards, but it certainly suits the size of the ship. So let's now just readjust myself and go forwards. And let go. Stopping is pretty good as well. Going left. Left is pretty good. Going right. Good stopping time and good thrust. Reversing is pretty fast as well. And then going down, which is usually the oddball out on everything. Fairly slow compared to everything else. And space to go up. Pretty damn fast. So there is that. What I will do right now is just not copy and paste it. Just delete this grid. And spawn in a new one. So let me just go and find this. There we are. And just paste that in. So here we are. We're going to go to the red platform and see what they have to say for themselves. They should open fire, so it'll be a good test to see how well the auto repair system works and how the turrets will handle everything. So I'm not going to manually control the rocket turret. So there goes everything. In fact, I can turn it off now. Oof! Instantly got hit there. The cockpit got taken out. And we're going to go straight... Oh no! Ah! Ah! Oh dear. It appears I have parked. But their turrets do not like me. Turrets, please shoot the other turrets. There is the projector. Trying to project everything. But everything is a bit on the wonk at the moment. In fact, yeah, let me just be untargetable for a second. Oh, there goes the jump drive. Jump drive has just gone critical and blown up everything in the middle. Hey, I'm untargetable. There we go. Yes, thank you for stop targeting me. Oh, that's weird. Yes, the last thing to do, being that's now got instantly blown up. I might just spawn in a new one, in fact. Let me just come around here and put a new one around. And just try that properly. I'm sure this will be fine. So let's go all the way through, jump over that, get over to here. And tilt to myself. Oof! Ah, the critical reactor. In fact, there we are. We have somehow... Actually, that's a pretty good design, actually. If you are using the critical jump drive explosion mod, then it sort of just decapitates this part of the ship. Let me just remove that. Yeah, that's fairly interesting. You could survive in here for quite a while. I suppose it doesn't help that I have the critical reactors as well as critical jump drives turned on, but I will get revenge on the ship for what it did to the poor little frigate. Ah, there we go. So what I'll do is stand here. Let me just find my free camera and find this. There we go. Let's just scoot it along. I will just very quickly show you the critical jump drive mod by shooting. There we go. So what it does is essentially just disconnects all blocks attached around the jump drive. Not traditionally like an explosion would, but it just physically detached each individual block like you just spawn them in manually. Yes, that is the critical jump drive mod which I was using. Probably gave a very unfair advantage, but let's see the destruction left on this station. It did alright. Anyway, this is the Antares-III Frigate, which is no longer with me. It'll be in the description below if you wish to download and try it yourself. It is a rather nice ship if you want to spawn it in and use it in survival mode. And as per usual, thank you all for watching, and I'll be back with another video some point soon. Bye bye.